Hi lovelies, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Becca, and if you're not, welcome back. Today we are doing a little April curriculum. I wanted to sit down and just chat about how I'm trying to make my April a lot more intentional with what I'm consuming. That means what I'm listening to, what I'm reading, what I'm watching, all of the above. So I created myself a little curriculum to follow through the month of April. So I'm going to share with you guys what is on my agenda for this month. I think this is something that I am going to try to implement every single month. And I'm not going to be super strict with myself. I'm not going to cut myself off from everything outside of this list, but I am going to try and be really intentional so that I spend the majority of my time doing things that, I kind of hand selected, and then the other time is just like filling in the blank. So my pillars for this month are money, mindset, creativity, and softness. I feel like these are the things that keep coming up for me. So you'll notice that a lot of my curriculum are catered to these kind of like topics or these kind of trends. So the first part of my curriculum is what I am reading this month, and I am going to continue with my fiction reads. I need you guys not to laugh at me for what I'm about to tell you, but I am still going to be working on finishing the last letter in the month of April. It has to happen at this point. We didn't complete our March goals, so here we are. But this is a book that I'm going to be finishing, and then once that's done, I do want to read The Things That We Leave Unfinished. It's also by the same author, but the reason why I love fiction is that it feels like it really just allows my creativity to come out, my imagination. Like I'm just imagining what the characters look like, what the scene looks like. It's a step away from the productive content or the force to be productive every single day. And although I do love my nonfiction reads, like the life transformation type books, I really want to just have at least one fiction read this month, just to allow that creativity to stay. I feel like the creativity has blended into other areas of my life. So these are going to be on my curriculum for the month of April, really just continuing with my fiction reads and just using my imagination when it comes to the books that I'm reading. Okay, so getting into what I am going to be listening to this month, these are a handful of podcasts that I have been listening to for quite some time now, and they're all around money, they're about career, they're about women in business, and I just find that so empowering. I am in my late 20s and I feel like I just really resonate with this type of content right now. So the first podcast that I've been listening to pretty regularly is She's on the Money. She's on the Money is a podcast that makes the conversation around finances really practical, really digestible, and really accessible to everybody. And I like the little banter that they have in this podcast. I think they're based outside of the US. I think they're either Aussie or they might be from the UK somewhere. It's just like a nice conversation about finances, and I always learn something new, or if anything, I just like hearing their conversation while I'm on my long drive. So She's on the Money is definitely one of my recommendations and something that I'm adding to my April curriculum. And then we have Friends That Invest by Sim Kwar. I love Sim. I've been listening to Sim's Friends That Invest since it was Girls That Invest. The little rebrand is really nice because it just makes it more inclusive, but I really love Sim and everything that she has to offer. She makes investing easy for the everyday person, and I've been investing for a while, but when it came to making it like simple and just bringing it back to the basics, I feel like Sim does a really good job of making it like that for people who are listening. And I love her personality. She's very kind. She's really successful too, but she's not out of touch with her recommendations. She still keeps it very attainable for the everyday person. So I really love Friends That Invest, formerly Girls That Invest. The next podcast that I've been listening to is The Vault by Financial. I love The Vault. They have here on YouTube, and then they also have their podcast on Apple Podcasts is where I listen to. So sometimes I'll watch the video on YouTube, but then other times I will just listen to it on Apple Podcasts. So The Vault is also a financial podcast, of course, and they have conversations about money and money habits, and they open up every single episode with playing a game called Jail or No Jail. Someone will message a scenario to them, and then they will pick jail or no jail. So for example, it'll be like, I am a 28-year-old woman and I decided that I'm gonna stop investing until I'm 40, like jail or no jail. And then of course they would say jail for that. That's an extreme scenario, but people will send in scenarios and then they'll choose jail or no jail. And whenever I'm listening to it, I'll pick jail or no jail myself as well. So it's really funny to just listen along and really be engaged with. They also have an app and a website that has a ton of resources on it. They have, the app is for budgeting, and it has a community, and it's just a really cool space. And I love that I found them. I actually found them here on YouTube first, and then I went over to Apple Podcasts. So that was really cool. And then the last podcast that I'm listening to is Aspire by Emma Grade. Emma Grade is a businesswoman. She's the mastermind behind a lot of really known celebrity brands. Think Skims, Things Good American by the Kardashians, right? So she's so incredible when it comes to establishing businesses, and the guests that she has on her podcast are amazing. I listened to the Cardi B one recently. I listened to one with Tori Dunlap, which I also listened to Tori's podcast, so it was cool just seeing her on Aspire by Emma Grade because it was a crossover episode that was really cool. So I really like Emma Grade, and she just seems very wise and just very sound and very knowledgeable, and I like the way that she interviews her guests and really gets their stories, and it always leaves me feeling feeling inspired. So yeah, I definitely love Aspire by Emma Gray. So that's definitely part of my April curriculum. And then this last category is what I am watching in the month of April. I'm not a huge TV person. I don't really watch TV much. I don't watch shows very often. I don't watch movies very often either. And this is very like niche and very current with what I'm watching this month. But you guys, I have been filling my time with watching the NASA live stream of the current moon mission of the Artemis crew. And I've been so invested in this mission. I don't know if it's because I'm based in Houston and like the mission control center is here, like NASA is here in Houston, so it just feels very real. But I've been watching the NASA live stream on YouTube, and whenever I have a little bit of time, I just turn it on. I'm so fascinated by it. Just us going to space and potentially going back to the moon in our lifetime, my lifetime, is just so cool. I went to NASA a few years back just to like go there for a tour and to learn, and it was so cool. I don't know. I'm so like hyper focused or like hyper fixated on this mission right now. They're on their way back to the Earth now, and they're about to have their splashdown, and I'm just so nervous for it. I hope everything goes well. But like, I feel like this has increased my learning and my creativity. I'm listening to math, quantum physics. Like, I'm just so in awe of all the scientists that make this happen. And I know there's a lot of like skepticism about our moon missions and space and all of that. And I would be lying if I said I didn't have a little bit of skepticism as well. But this has just been so incredible to watch. And there's like the first female on this crew, and there's also an African-American male on this crew. So I'm like, yes, like I like it a lot. So that's definitely something that I've been watching this month. And although the mission's almost done, I feel like this just sparked a new area of like interest for me. So that was really cool. Okay, so that is my April curriculum. Those are the things that I'm reading, watching, listening to this month. And I just feel like this is gonna allow me to be very inspired and creative all month long. I'm just on the journey of eliminating doom scrolling and just like pointless content consumption. I feel like this is just gonna allow me to be a lot more intentional with what I'm bringing into my brain. So this is your little weekly reminder that the things that you are consuming really shape your brain, how you see the world. And so I challenge you to be intentional about the things that you're consuming. I think everyone should have their own personalized little curriculum, and yeah, hand select what they want to consume. So let me know in the comments if you are building your own curriculum or some of the things that you've been listening to, what you've been watching, or what you've been reading. But anywho, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you in my next one.